Hey Shepherd community, my name is Rich Goodman. I'm a proud alum from 2014 with bio and psych degrees, and then I went back to finish my master's in 2017 in the College Student Development and Administration program, as well as the Master's of Arts in Teaching program. I work for colleges in career development and employer relations, which just means that I teach college courses, I provide career advising, I lead workshops, I host job fairs, but I also work with recruiters to know what they expect and to share what college students expect from them. And today I'm helping you to think about your own story and think about how you want to tell it. Alright, so what experience actually counts? Well, from first year students to alums, your experience does not begin and end with your 9 to 5. I'm talking about shadowing and internships and fellowships and research and freelance work and volunteering and lab experiences and clubs and organizations. They all count for something, but it's all about how you market it. And the biggest tool you have for that is your resume. For most jobs and internships, this is the most important part of your application, so you gotta spend a little bit of time with it. Give it a little bit of love, buy it dinner, take it out for a walk or something. When it comes to resumes, you will always receive different feedback from different advisors and mentors with different experiences, and so it's up to you to be a critical consumer of that information to see what works best for you. This is your document. That being said, here's my advice. The essential components are contact info, education, and experience, usually in that order. Some other options include things like leadership involvements and volunteering and skills and certifications and awards and achievements and selected accomplishments and whatever else applies to what you're trying to do. They are generally 1 or 2 pages long and no more for a very complex reason. Do you like reading long documents? No. They're also human. They don't want to either. The average recruiter spends between 6 and 7 seconds to decide if they want to keep reading your resume. This is especially true at large institutions and corporations, and that's only after you get past the applicant tracking system. Oh, look it up. It's a thing. Now notice I said 1 or 2 pages, not between 1 and 2. 1.5 pages says that you're not concise, but you also couldn't think of anything else in your life that's worth filling the blank space on page 2. CVs are the exception because they usually just throw all the rules out the window as far as they can. CVs are generally used within academia and research, and they tend to be a little bit longer to give more context about research, publications, and courses taught. Now remember, you're limited on space, so for those important experiences, try to list between 2 to 4 bullet points that highlight different accomplishments or responsibilities. Each bullet point should be 1 to 2 lines, starting with an action verb using past or present tense depending on dates. Give context as much as possible. Try to answer the questions for each bullet point of what, how, and why. What is the easy part? It's what you did. You cleaned the store, you served tables, you scrolled on TikTok. Wait, no, I don't do that. How is quantifying or providing context about what tools or methods or software you used or how you handled yourself. You provided quick and friendly service in your section of 6 tables. Why is heartbreakingly often forgotten about? Why is your chance to proactively tell an employer that you know the quality of your work matters? That you want to make an impact and not just push buttons and clock out and get down money? Even if it's true, don't say it. You provide service to encourage a welcoming and satisfactory customer experience, huh? You clean to ensure adherence to health and safety standards. You got it? All right, so give that some thought. We're going to keep practicing that, but we're going to move on to the cover letter. So you can mostly use a very similar resume to most jobs in the same field. For cover letters, you can copy some of your favorite parts from letter to letter, but every single one should be unique. The goal of the cover letter is to show how you align perfectly with this specific opportunity, which means we're ready to introduce our recurring character. Give it up for research! Study that job description and also check out their social media and their website, their business model, their diversity, equity, and inclusion statement, their new initiatives, their mission, their vision, their goals, everything you can find. Find some of those that resonate with you and use the same key points for your letter. This research is going to help you later. Just trust me. So here's the format for cover letters. Contact info, the date, dear hiring committee. Extra points if you name the hiring director. Then 3 to 4 paragraphs. The first one being your general introduction. Who are you? What do you want to do? Why should they care? The middle section, that real content that shows how your experience, your skills, your ambition, your knowledge, and your personality align perfectly with the goals and responsibilities of the position and the organization. This is not a reiteration of your resume. Think of this as about 75% you, 25% them. You gotta weave your qualifications into their vision for an ideal candidate based upon what they're saying using their language. That's that next level stuff and they ain't ready for it. The last paragraph is basically a big old thank you for their time and consideration and that you're excited to hear back from them. Alright, that's it. I guess you're done. No, proofread it. Proofread it again. Read it out loud to yourself. Ask everybody that you know to read it because if you say that you are detail-oriented then later on you spell the company name wrong, you lying. Personal statements to grad school are similar to cover letters, but they also include more of an origin story, your motivation for wanting to study your field further, your inspiration, the real tearjerkers. For all of these documents, you are the expert, and you should be able to talk about anything on here for at least 20 seconds. Also, don't use any words that you wouldn't use in real life or don't know 100% what they mean, because as soon as they say, could you say more about that, and then you're like, not a great look. All right, let's talk about crafting your story. They say it's about who you know, but it's really about who knows you and why. There's tremendous value in holding connections who might give you advice or send you job listings or even put in a good word for you. To build that connectivity, let's look to see what message you're sending to the world. Your social media. Yes, some recruiters check social media, and there are many stories of folks losing an offer or even being fired from online activity. Don't be petty on Facebook. Don't be toxic on Insta. Don't be talking about people on Twitter. And the Snap story might go away in 24 hours, but it takes a second to get a picture of it. Oh, okay, you think you're safe because you spelled your name backwards. Okay, people do this for a living. Once you've gotten rid of the negative content, what positive do you want people to see? If you search my name right now with my current employer or my hometown or the amazing Shepherd University, one of the top 2 results will always be LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a high search return, so if folks want to do a little bit of digging on you, sprinkle a little gold for them to find. LinkedIn tells more of your story than a resume, and it adds life through pictures and links and other people. You can also use it to expand your network. When you connect with folks you know, you start to gain access to new people through mutual connections. You can also search alumni networks to see if there's a Shepherd connection. Meet influential contacts to ask if they'd be willing to share about their success over coffee or give advice over Zoom. Some folks love to be a mentor, and some just like to talk about themselves, and it's always worth a shot. Also, some fields benefit from an online portfolio to show your work, like art and graphic design, education, and writing, and computer science, and photography, and videography. Alright, now let's talk about the different types of interviews. Over the phone, you can have all the notes around you that you want, and you don't gotta put on real pants. Over video, you can still have documents or even post-its on your screen, and you can read your audience a little bit better, and they can see your energy. In person, pants are more likely to be required, but now you can show off your fancy pants. Plus, you get the full experience. You get to see the facility, you get to meet more people, and possibly see if the environment's welcoming. For in-person interviews, your environment's controlled for you, but for phone and video interviews, you have to control your environment. Find a quiet place with good lighting, good signal, and no distractions. Tell your roommate to get lost for an hour. Tell your neighbors you have an interview so they don't blast music. And remember, your interviewer sees less of you, so bring that energy, bring the enthusiasm. Regardless of the setting, make sure you practice with someone, especially if it's your top choice. Practice answering common interview questions, especially behavioral interview questions. These are the hard ones they ask to see how honest and introspective you are and how well you work with others. Now, this is where you can pull that research out of your pocket because it's going to do you some favors. If you provide answers to their questions within the context of what they're already doing, what they want to do, you're literally speaking their language. And when you get to the end, you can ask questions that are specific to them, which shows you're invested. Which reminds me, prepare more questions than they can answer just in case they address one of your questions earlier in the interview. You do not want to be stuck saying no when they ask you if you have any questions. When you answer questions, be honest, but always end on a high note. If they ask you your greatest weakness and you say, I'm too much of a perfectionist sometimes, they're going to try really hard not to roll their eyes. Pick something manageable that you actually want to grow in and talk about your strategy to improve. Alright, that was a lot and there's so much more to it, so keep on growing, invest in you, and be kind to yourself. Best of luck, you're going to do great. Go Rams!